think that there is something very close in the Indian Spanish culture. Every time I've gone to Spain, I've enjoyed sleeping in the afternoon. And I've enjoyed, actually there is something very cultural, very open, very friendly. And if often people have asked me that you've left London, if there was one other city in the world, where would you live? And I will keep saying Barcelona. Not only because Barcelona is beautiful, but also because the culture is very, very similar to us. Also because, because there is, flamenco, for example, is a derivative of the Rajasthani folk dances. There is a huge cultural influence that traveled across from India to Eastern Europe, and then finally landed up in Spain and stayed there because they couldn't cross the seas. So they just flocked there and started. So there is that, and also I think that there is something about Spanish cinema that is very, very experimental. There's something about Spanish cinema that sits and constantly tries to explore the edge of cinema, the border of cinema. The problem in India is that all the filmmakers, if you said that there was a Hollywood filmmaker here or this was a Hollywood event, you'd find every Indian filmmaker sitting here, because somehow that was the aspiration taught to us when we were young. We were told that the American culture is the culture to aspire to. We were not taught about European culture, which are cultures which are closer to us. And we were not taught about Spanish cinema, that is much more closer to us. Of course, if I say something, and I bet you nobody in India would know that in Spain there's no censorship in cinema.
I don't think there's art as improvement. There's nothing called improvement in any art. It's a question of aspiration. So every art, including cinema, desires to change, and it desires to change and increase the size of its viewership. So yes, Indian cinema is aspiring, but it needs to go. It's fine. I mean, what we call Indian cinema or South Indian cinema, it's doing very well. It's actually is exploring new frontiers. But we need to go beyond those frontiers and explore even bigger frontiers. Yeah, I think that is really great that the festivals are taking place, and the more festivals we have, the more interesting and the more the people get a chance to see different kinds of films. And these festivals would not take place if the audiences didn't come. So the audiences in India are getting exposed to more and more kinds of cinema.
Well, I would like to. We have brought in to make some kind of first approach. We have brought a pair of my musicals. I've done every kind of film, not only musicals, but we have brought 2 musicals, and there is it's a pity because very little interchange. You see very few Indian films in Spain. You see some of them, but you see very. And of course, everybody that is studying cinema knows Satyajit Ray, some kind of thing that is classical.